The team played better this past month. I parroted what Michaela had told me. Are you looking forward to next year?
We're going to be far better.
Trent launched into an enthusiastic rundown of what his expectations were for Season 2. His eyes lit up when he talked about hockey, and his enthusiasm was contagious. I wondered what it felt like to have a passion that made a person so happy. I listened with interest, not because I was a huge hockey fan, but because witnessing his joy did my heart good. I'd lived in the darkness for most of my life, and I was fascinated by those who basked in the light. I liked Trent, but I didn't believe a word Aspen and Michaela said about him having a thing for me. Most likely he felt sorry for me, or was a rescuer of damsels in distress. I was no longer that person. I didn't need rescuing, and I didn't need a man in my life, especially not a high-profile one whose presence would cast a spotlight on a not-so-distant past I'd rather keep buried. As Trent talked, I relaxed somewhat, even though part of me remained wary. He seemed like a genuinely nice man, but appearances were often deceiving. He was well aware of my previous career path, and probably thought I'd be more than happy to accommodate his sexual needs and kinks. After all, I'd done some research on the man. He had a rep as a player, and not just on the ice. Running out of safe topics, I lapsed into silence, after which Trent resigned himself to my 1- or 2-word answers. To fill the void, he talked about himself, the IceHawks, and his family. I listened, nodding and smiling when appropriate, and filing away every word he said to be resurrected when I was lonely and feeling bad about myself. I had a big crush on Trent, which I considered safe as long as I kept him in my fantasy world. I knew better than anyone he was out of my league. Aspen and Michaela would chew my ass for thinking so little of myself, but I was a realist. Trent was nice to me because he was a nice guy, and I had connections to some of his teammates' wives and girlfriends, aka wags. I didn't want a real relationship, now or maybe ever, but a crush was harmless. Like having a crush on a rock singer or a movie star. It had never come to anything, but that didn't stop me from engaging in some minor cyberstalking to learn everything about him and drool over new pics. Watching Trent from a distance was safe entertainment. In my head, I could make him my ultimate boyfriend, change his career to a less violent one, and never put my heart and soul in jeopardy. I'd learned over the years that what a person displayed to the public wasn't who they were in private. I wanted Trent to remain the man I'd fantasized about, and I didn't want reality intruding. But a girl did what she had to do, and Trent needed to reside in my made-up world, not my real one. It was safer that way.